Vinyl Voices Radio is brought to you by our friends over at Push & Win Law Firm, your personal injury attorneys. So if you guys need help, you get hurt or get in a car accident, call Push & Win. Look them up online, pushwin.com, and get a free consultation, pushwin.com. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Vinyl Voices Radio. We're going to have a really fun show tonight. This show, we're going to be drinking some good no-label beers.
Yeah,
got some 2A1 and some Up and Away right here.
Smells great.
Hey, I already ate some Frank's Pizza. We already jumped into that box.
Yeah. One down, two to go.
One down, two to go.
Yeah.
And we're going to listen to some badass music.
Yep. Tonight we have Brightwire. We got Sam, Kim, and Helf on the couch. Also, fellow podcasters. So, you know, we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's tonight.
Oh, man, they're going to be judging us.
Right.
How well we do. All right, everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Well, I say what?
For the fellowship.
This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm John Denman.
Dusty Sandehan.
All right, this is Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN. I'm John Denman. He's Justin Dejas. And we are hanging out tonight with Brightwire.
Good evening. Thank you.
Howdy.
So welcome to the studios. Looking forward to tonight. You guys make some really good music. And we're going to hear 4 songs from you. We're going to talk about those songs. But in between, it never fails though. In between, like when we're not recording or when things aren't on, that's where like the best stories are told.
Oh yeah.
And so far, I've been here for about 20 minutes, and we've covered a whole lot, from gas station food to peeing in cups at Whataburger to so it's gonna be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's how these shows go, y'all. So,
Oh yeah.
We started off on a good foot, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Cool.
Yep. Some no label beers, some Frank's Pizza,
Yeah.
and Whataburger cups.
All right.
Downtown Dusty, man. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have a new album out. So let's talk about that a little bit.
We do.
We do, yeah. We have a new album. It just came out called Here But Gone. Over the pandemic, we were stuck at home, so we started working on stuff. And like I had been playing drums on and off for a while, and then for that last album we did, Crack, Flawed, and Frayed, I'd like played drums. So basically, I just looped it like I would do. I wasn't very good, and I just kept like playing more and more. And so for this record, I basically went in, did the acoustic tracks, did everything, and then went and did all the drums are all live like this. That's my thing I have to talk about because I'm proud that I actually went from like 10% live drums on the last record to like 95% on this one. And then so we recorded all that, and then Helf and Kim came in and just like, you know, did their vocals and parts and just really brought it all together. And I think this is the album that sounds the most like what, at least for me, I hear in my head. Like, you know, I know everyone's like, oh, it's like folk rocky. I'm like, yeah, but really, man, it's like there's a lot more to it. But it's just,
There's only 3 of us.
Yeah, and we're adults, so it's like, how many people do you get? Drummers are hard to find. I mean, like I made the joke before we got on, like Pat Kelly's been on like 6 episodes of this show. So that shows how like, if you're a drummer, it's like, I'm in these 37 bands. And there's the 5 drummers in Houston were all full, so we didn't have a drummer. So like our current drummer is Joel Mora, who runs the Old Quarter. So, you know,
right. Mm-hmm.
So unless there's not a show at the historic Old Quarter in Galveston, he's available. So it's like, well, how about Sunday 6 months from now, you know? But,
Right.
But Joel's killer, man. We did our album release there at the first album release show in Galveston and did the full band show. Rebecca from Grifters and Chills played bass for us because they're like the MC5 to our Stooges. So I always compare it like we're the sister bands, and once they get big, hopefully they get us a lesser deal or whatever, you know. But
Just tag along, you know. Just hold on.
Coattails, baby.
we've got this other band that we're friends
Yes.
with that would be good for you to take as well. But, you know, there's 3 of them though. But yeah, and then John also from Grifters Chills mastered the record. I did a lot of mixing and stuff. I've been fortunate that I have friends that, just through people I've met through the years, like doing press and things like that. So our friend Eric Amble out of New York, he is a wonderful human being that when I send weird questions about mixing, he'll be like, yeah, do this. And like, he runs Cowboy Studios up there. And just, man, it's been, and that's it. We did the record. And
Yeah.
I keep rambling, but I mean, I think
He's
that's
exhausted. No. From
that's
doing all
perfect.
that.
very cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot accomplished, though.
Right.
It was, man, like this one we spent a lot of time. I think I started in April. So normally how the records start is I grab an acoustic, I go in, I'm not good with click tracks, so I do like a bass snare thing. And then I sit down and I have this watch that blinks lights on the tempo, and I just break out, do the acoustic tracks. And then we go in and do really terrible vocals. So for this album, it was super tense because Kim found out she had thyroid cancer right when we started doing right before we started principal recording.
Yep.
So then, it's like, hey, we should try to do your real vocals now because we don't know after your thyroid if you'll be able to sing again. This could be our last record. But, just
No pressure.
yeah. Don't sound tense. Just record your vocals.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
fine.
Just relax.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, those sounded like, and it was
They
okay.
did.
They
They
were
were
good
terrible.
scratch vocals, but they weren't. And luckily, she, do you want to talk about your?
Oh, yeah. Well, we were trying to finish up the vocals on that record, and then we were going on tour to support the record. So,
So 8 days before we're going on tour 8 days before she goes in for thyroidectomy.
after.
Or we're going, yeah,
we
we're
go
going
on
out
tour
8
8 days after, so a
sorry.
little over a week. And the surgeon was very, very optimistic. He's like, I do these all day long. I'm going to get as close to your vocal cords as I can, but your cancer's really close to your vocal cords. So you probably won't lose your voice. There's a very minuscule chance that you'll lose your voice, but you might lose it temporarily. So you could be down for, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. We don't know. But it evidently was very tense. The operation was much longer than it actually should have been. And, but when they came out to get him, it was after midnight, I think.
Yeah, it's like, see, I thought it'd be funny. So she goes in, and I was like, it'd be hilarious. Like, she's at the cancer center, it's supposed to take a couple hours. I'm gonna hop the light rail, go down the flying saucer,
Have some beers.
Show
Relax.
up, buzz, be like, no, you made it through. This is great. And then it's like you get back.
That's a great idea, by the
Right?
way.
Right.
I mean, that's just.
So then you get back and you're like, oh, she's fixing to be ready at any point, and you're like, okay. And then another hour goes by, and it's like, okay. Then I watched the Batman on my phone, and that's like 3 hours long. I was like, okay, I'm starting to freak out.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. Yeah. And then finally, like, oh, we just can't. There's no beds available. So then finally, after midnight, they call me back, and the doctor's like, look, man, we didn't destroy her vocal cords. It's fine, but we got real close. She probably won't be able to talk for a few days. So we walk in, I walk around the corner. She's just sitting there with a cup of ice, like, hey, what's up? And just like, how are you? And then
It was a
probably
week, but-
5 minutes after, a doctor walks in, we're talking, and he's one of the surgeon crew, and he looks around, and he's like, is that you? She's like, yeah. And he was just, that whole like, damn right it was you. That's what I do. Like, that's my surgery. It's
Yeah.
right there. Like, we do the best. And it was just, and she was fine.
I mean, my voice was weak for a while, but no.
Yeah, but I
Didn't
mean,
lose
that
it at
was
all.
middle of the week. And like 3 days later, we did a show at Dan Electro's. And me and Health, like, I'm texting Health, like, we're screwed. It's just us. Like, it's just us. No one likes the Dancing Bears without Kim.
Right.
We need Kim and the Dancing Bears. And so I butchered one of her songs trying to sing it because I knew it'd get her to jump up on stage.
I
and
was
go,
just selling
like,
merch because I wasn't going to get up and sing.
Hey, you're
Hey, I
destroying
can't
my
let this go
song.
on.
Like, don't do that.
So she sang about 3 songs with us, and the only reason she got off stage is because, when you're out under anesthesia, they put your body in like weird positions. You're like, my hips messed
My
up.
whole leg was going numb. I couldn't stand up for a while. It was weird.
But yeah, so 3 days after surgery, she's on stage. 8 days later, she's singing on stage in Tulsa.
Yep.
That's incredible.
That
Yeah.
was incredible. Surgeon took some credit. I
Yeah.
get
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but
Dr.
really,
Leo,
I mean,
man.
come on, Doc. This is like a singer, you know. This is a person whose voice is trained to, you know, uphold for
Well,
stuff.
and when we
tough
went in,
times.
that was the first thing I told him was like, okay, so I'm a singer. And this is the reason why I went in the first place. I'd kind of lost my voice the month before, and I just never really got it back. And so I was seeing a vocal therapist, and that's when they found the nodes and
Wow.
all that. Yeah. So if I had never lost my voice, I would have never found out I had cancer.
Yeah.
A whole nother crazy thing. But
That's where I lost my cool guy. Craig's like, nodes. Had my pitch perfect moment. Like, oh no, not nodes.
But like, what was cool though is we were on tour right after her surgery. She had this sweet scar, like these staples
gnarly.
and stuff. And so like we had a side hustle. $1 to look at it, $2 to touch it, $5 to lick it.
Yeah.
Take pictures with Kim and her neck scar.
It was
There's a little
What
sign
can I
on
get
the
for
merch table.
$10?
not what you think. If he's in charge, not what you would think.
It looked like they tried to decapitate her, man.
It did look
Like,
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so.
Looked like a
horrible.
butter braid.
So
I mean, you know, on tour, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looks. That's what. You know,
it added
said
to
I
our
was
folk
attacked.
punk cred because she had her
attacked by a fan.
bandana on, so it went around her neck. I was like, dude, you're looking sweet. We played with our friend Johnny Lawhorn from Pentagram String Band in Kansas City, and it was like,
I look tough.
Kim's down, dude.
Well, that was an incredible story.
Yes.
And part of what we do on this show is actually talk about songs, which we need to get to.
Yeah.
But I think the first song is not actually on the new album. Is that right?
No, this one is, everything we did for this one is
It's
on the new album.
Okay.
We were
Yeah.
selfish and promoted just the new album.
Perfect. Okay. So the first one we're going to hear is Better Off Gone.
Awesome.
This old town, it knows exactly where we've been. Street corner reminders of all our conquests and our sins.
back to the show.
Yeah, so we spent like 10 minutes talking about Kim's vocals, and then we heard a song that's Samuel singing like prominently on that one. So
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, everyone knows, like I said, the Dancing Bears are great, but you got to have Kim and the Dancing Bears to make it work.
True.
So Better Off Going, during the whole shutdown thing, we were at home, and it's kind of where this started. I literally walked my dog until he had hip issues because I was walking around Baytown. I mean, we would literally go for 2-hour walks a day. And then right about that time, the story I always tell, which may not be 100% fair to Jennifer, but my good friend Jennifer, who actually used to live in this area with her wife, also named Jennifer. It was
Wait,
weird.
2 Jennifers?
Yeah, it was.
That's weird.
So we started calling her by her last name, Moody, but her job went completely
TV show
online.
right there.
Right.
Right. They actually got married on like Good Morning America when they did this mass.
Dude, the title
marriage
could be
thing.
2 Gens, No Men.
Right.
So she, her
Reality.
and her wife were getting a divorce, and her job, she worked for waste management, went completely online. And she's like, dude, I'm selling my house, I'm buying it at a fifth wheel, I'm buying a truck, learn how to drive said truck, and I'm going to take off, and I'm going to go anywhere I want. A mutual friend of ours, Kate, which, you know, with the whole brewery thing, a ton of breweries, if you go by and you see a K8 on the art there, like Eighth Wonder and stuff like that, it's our friend Kate. Like, she does a lot of the art for places, a lot of breweries, man. She was really big into that. So she had kind of done that. She bought a Winnebago and just traveled Colorado, like all over the place, all the western U.S. So Jennifer's like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go do what Kate's doing. We were like, so it kind of got me fired up. And woke up one Saturday morning, everyone was asleep, and I started playing that progression, thought about that, and wrote out most of the song. And then, you know, over time you come back, and that's really what it came out to. And then the punchline of the song live is that Jennifer did load up the truck, went to her dad's house in Jacksonville, Texas, which is right by Tyler, and met someone there, and they basically got together, and they just got married this last spring, or fall, September.
Yep.
And so she didn't really go to a lot of places. I say nowhere really. That's a lie. Like she went out to Paladuro Canyon. She did go to Colorado.
She did a lot, yeah.
Her and the new old lady went out to a Buccaneers game or something. But it was not the I can work from anywhere in the world thing. So that's always the punchline for the song. It's like, always talk about your dreams, because even if you don't follow through, you can inspire someone else to do something cool. So even your inaction may lead to actions from others. So vicariously, you made something happen. So, you know, always talk about those things.
yeah, it's
And
interesting.
so that was the genesis of that song.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of about growing up in a small town and getting
Oh yeah,
out.
and I mean, we were doing stuff for the city because I work for the city of Baytown, and we were doing a lot of local video things. So, like the whole, the old buildings and things like that, references where we were going around doing a lot of stuff like old downtown. So as you tour around the country, you start finding most of the venues you play are in reclaimed downtown. So it's like the old downtown, everyone moved out. And then young people are allowed to move in because rent's cheaper, things like that. They open music venues, coffee shops, bars, breweries. And then everybody moves in, and then it becomes like a really cool place again. And that's kind of what Baytown's trying to get to have happen.
Then the prices, everything goes up, and then the people can't afford anymore. They all move out, then it gets empty again.
Right, and then every 30 to 40
cycle.
years it
Yeah.
cycles.
Yes.
Everybody moves further. It's like this, it's that whole like, it's like the wave at a ball game. It just keeps going. Except it starts inward, goes outward,
It's
and comes back
spreading.
in. Yeah. And it really is that way, where it's like, okay, now we can move into all these cheap old buildings, fix them up, dump all this money, and then some asshole people come in like, oh, I'm from New York and I want to invest in this property, triple the rent, and drive the people out. But luckily, that hasn't happened in Baytown yet.
So if you're looking to buy it cheap,
If you're looking, Baytown's your place.
Dirty Bay Beer Company sits empty right now, so you could buy it and get to work. But I mean, a lot of it was just walking around seeing that kind of stuff. You're walking around town, you're looking at the, again, me and the dog would go every times we were home, weird alcoholic hours. So it was like 2 a.m. I'm like 6 beers deep. I'm like, what is it? Dude, we should go for a walk.
Let's go for a walk.
And we would. We'd go right down the bike trail of our house, come out by the school. There'd be like, people be out breaking street lights and things. And it was just stuff we talked about. And it just made sense. And it was just, we wanted nothing more than just to get the hell out of town and go do things. Because we toured pretty extensively before this. So it was just like, you're home for
So
2
trapped.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I don't do good sitting at home. Like we're home brewers, so I was literally brewing like 15 to 20 gallons of beer a month.
Yeah.
And
Which means you have to
drinking.
drink that.
Over-consuming
Right,
it.
Yes.
drinking
Wow.
and
You need a place to put it.
I would leave the house with like giant glasses of beer walking my dog, and that's basically how I spent it.
But the cool thing was that was kind of accepted. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, alcoholism was cool at that point.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
For a
when all of a
little
sudden
while.
you can go like I'm gonna go by Los Tios and get a gallon of margaritas to go.
You're helping the economy, buddy.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Helping
Yeah.
the economy.
For a little while.
And on Fridays it would be we're gonna drive out to the Heights. We're gonna go to Brash and do a pickup there. We'll get to Eureka Heights, grab something there. All the people we knew, and I think it was still. I think equal parts didn't become till the end of it. So they were still Sigma, so we did Sigma / equal parts.
How about No Label?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We love No
Beautiful Katie,
Label. I have one of the first, an old band of mine played No Label right when they opened. They sent us home with like 4 cases of partial fills.
Yes.
And it was like, ever since then, dude, No Label. If you weren't an hour and 15 minutes from my house, I'd be there way off.
And it's almost need to spend the night. You go out there.
We just went by there a couple
does.
weeks ago. We went to pick up our test presses in Austin.
Drove by.
So we decided to stop. We basically hit all these breweries and all. Safety first.
Take first, of course. Yeah.
We got flights. We were classy. We weren't over drinking. And then we drove back, and we stopped. We took 71 home and stopped by No Label on the way home
Nice.
and enjoyed some of their beers.
Yeah, and then stop by Columbus at Hound Song. And I don't know if you guys stopped there yet, but that's
No.
another great little brewery in Columbus.
In
So it's a
Columbus.
good little stop because, by the time you get to Columbus, you probably need to pull over anyways.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to have a beer, eat some good food, Hound Song Brewery, and then head up to
See,
Austin.
now I know. Yeah, man, that would have been part of that drive.
Yep. All right, well, we're getting cut off for this segment. So I think we went a little long.
Breweries.
Yep.
Cut off.
But no, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more with Brightwire. This is Vinyl Voices Radio.
Once my dreams burned like embers, but
You've seen their billboards and know their slogan, but the personal injury attorneys at Push and Win are more than familiar faces and a clever catchphrase. The firm specializes in car accidents and has won more than $200 million in counting for their clients. Slips and falls, product liability, class action cases, and motor vehicle accidents. Push and Win has offices in Houston and San Antonio ready to help you fight the insurance company. Call their bilingual staff at 833-PUSH-WIN or visit pushwin.com for a 100% free consultation. They push, you win.
May the 4th be with you weekend in Galveston, Texas. La Izquierda is back with a classic longboard surf competition, 3-day music festival starring The Nude Party, Cam Franklin, Tanya Nolan, Ruben Moreno, Galveston, The Ghost Wolves, Dim Roots, and much, much more. Tickets available online at laizzyfest.com. Think waves, y'all. Waves.
All right, we're back. This is Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN. I'm John Denman and it's Justin Dejas. On our couch over here is Brightwire.
Howdy, howdy.
Ha. I can't. I know.
Where do we go after that?
I know. Again, all these
Breaks are brutal.
conversations. I didn't know what we talked about that last break.
There was quite a bit. There was
Once again.
soundtracks. Was the big.
Oh yeah, soundtracks. Movie soundtracks.
Fargo soundtrack is excellent.
Like Fargo, the TV show?
Yeah, Fargo.
Or the
TV
movie,
show,
because
yeah.
we were talking about both.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from the movie. The soundtrack of the wood chipper.
The wood chipper.
You know,
4 hours of it.
what does Stevie Shimmy sound like getting wood chipped?
Well, it's weird though because about soundtracks, right? Is I don't know. We're talking about how there's not really that much focus put into their scores and all that, which is all great and everything. But like actually putting good music into soundtracks. But when a movie does it, that's what most people talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure why, like Guardians of the Galaxy movies, you know, like those. Everybody was like, the soundtrack, you know, because they put in great songs.
Right.
Through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just an accent for the movie. If it's good, it's good on the movie. If it's bad, it's.
We need a segue for the song because the last segment, we talked for like 10 minutes before we got to the song. So I feel like this is a good segue. The next song is Tough as Nails.
Okay.
So if we're doing soundtrack, Tough as Nails placement, in what movie is that?
The movie of my life, probably.
Okay.
Monkey Dearest.
You know, one of those. I'm trying to think of any movie. Like, there's a lack of, like the woman being like,
Right.
I'm out of here. And don't have to put up with this anymore.
Right. Just a badass woman.
I know.
Thelma
Oh, I don't know
Louise.
about that, but
Thelma Louise.
Stella got a groove back.
Stella got a groove bag.
Put a more aggressive.
You need to do a more
Fried green
version of it.
tomatoes?
no,
Okay,
not at
sorry.
all.
All right. Well, maybe
Kill Bill.
how about we'll listen to the song and
Yeah.
we'll let the audience tell us. How's that?
There you go.
All right. Let's check it out.
Late nights and hurricane winds, I've been through hell and back again. And in the end, you play the cards you're dealt. Getting up despite the pain, dusting myself off again.
the lyrics. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I had actually written these as a completely different song. That didn't have a lot of great parts. This is one of the very first songs I ever wrote. When I got together with Sam and started writing again. And it was pretty terrible. The chorus was bad.
No. So what Kim did, and I did that when I first started writing songs too, is she thought it'd be cool, like if I wrote every chorus had different lyrics. And then the verses were trash. And I mean, seriously, it was like basically, I was thinking about that this morning. It was basically like, Don't Stop Believing. Just a lonely girl. And it was like, we were two like girls in a lonely world. And it was like, yeah, it was bad. But then she had these really amazing choruses. And it was like, so when I started working on it, she's like, I'm coming up with lyrical ideas. And you know, my demonstrative way of handling things, like, the choruses will work as verses, write a chorus. And do something.
Well, but it didn't exactly happen like that. We had actually started talking about.
If you go with mine.
We talked about, you know, like I'm very nervous about giving my husband, who, you know, is also my partner and my songwriting partner. I'm very nervous about giving him access to my unfettered thoughts, which are what I write, and because if he hates it, then I'm a failure. Because he's a good songwriter, you know? Oh, well. So I was very nervous, but we finally, after how many years? 7 years together, probably? I was like, okay, I'm going to let you have
No, but I mean, we've had access to these lyrics probably 5 years. Like, these are, the verses of this song are old.
Yeah, they are very old.
Like, these are junior kids.
But it made me very nervous to have him, like, look at my stuff and say, that's trash. But once he said that's trash, but we can work with the rest of this, I realized, okay, it's not a bad thing to have a part of a song that doesn't work.
Right.
You know, we can fix it. And so that's what we did. It started out being a song about someone that I was dating when I moved to Houston, and it totally wound up being about my ex-husband and just about don't stay in a relationship that you're not happy in. You don't have to.
Right.
You know, you can find your own way.
So she's not leaving Sam.
No.
Okay. Put that out there.
That was a good punchline about the new record. Is the first 2 songs are both like all by myself,
right?
And a bunch of stuff, and
outdoor and all.
Yeah.
No
see
joke.
You when I see you.
Had at least 5 people be like, "Hey man, y'all good?"
Right. I mean,
good with
it's
y'all?
like the album's title is Here But Gone.
You can tell we were
It's
stuck
like-
at home together for like a week. Like, I want out of this place.
I'm tired of looking at your face.
Yeah, right. That rhymes too.
Yeah.
When will you go back to your job and take it out of this house? Because I mean, dude, during the whole shutdown, I had the best life ever. I mean, I worked at a library. Like, I had to edit video for story times. Like, I'm in my office, like, yay, Miss Chesley, yay, like doing this. And Kim brought her stupid job home. And I have to listen to her meetings, which were bringing back, like, you know, triggering old memories from my past jobs where I'm like, So that's
You
why
know,
I
Elf
started.
and I work in public service, and during the pandemic, we're all like, they're doing like, do more with less, and we're like, we can't. I don't know how to do anymore. and Sam's just like editing.
So that led to the
times.
sleeping till noon or 2 p.m. and drinking all night because I didn't want to be awake for her life.
Right.
So it kind of helped with the lyrical stuff where we're both like, I just want to be out of this. So, but yeah, I made the chord progression came from, again, we had been to a bunch of folk punk shows, so it was like, you know, I mean, we literally listened to everything. Like, I grew up, I mean, I was front stage at Fitzgerald's for 30 Foot Falls, like Junior High Sucks 7-inch release, like Bickley, Latchkey Kids, Dynamite Boy from Austin. Like, that's what I did. And that's like who I was. So like now that, you know, I mean, it's all Days and Days earlier on, you know. Which, man, I never heard Doom Scroll until we were looking at this, man. They were killer.
Yeah.
And playing, what's the one called? Is the bouzouki, like the longer mandolin? Like, I was like, oh, dude, wow. So we've been saying that in Tequache, like our friends Hal and them, man, from Blackgrass Gospel and stuff like that. I think we had just done an interview on our podcast with Barnes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like we were in that mindset. So I was like, would be a good, like, folk punky kind of thing. And like I say, we call Kim, me and Health make fun of her because if you ever seen Walk Hard where Dewey does all the coke and he's like, play it faster, and it's like that's Kim.
That's
like
Kim.
we literally, I know this dog is gonna bite me at some point, but I mean she seriously did that. Like our last show before the world stopped was at in Bryan
Revolution Bar.
Yeah, the Rev, and Kim looked at me and was like, "You're not playing it fast enough." So we did our 45-minute set in about 30 minutes that night because I was like, "Okay, you want it faster?" And then everyone's communicated to Health.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
I'm just over here in the part of a marital spat. Over in the Dobro
Poor
town.
Health.
Here's our ballad, ching 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 ching, and we played it. We blew through that set.
But that one I felt like needed a faster pace, and that's
You got it.
we got
She
it.
got what she wants. We call her Dewey all the time. She's like, play it fast. I'm like, right, Dewey, you're acting like some kind of punk.
Well, and everything starts out slow because you're learning your parts, and I know that part is not the easiest thing to play really fast.
Yeah.
So, but as we kept getting closer to performing it, I was like, I can't hold out these really long, low notes for as long as you're playing them. I can't do it. I don't have the breath
And
anymore.
then as we
you
go to
know?
recording, it turns into, I had throat surgery, cancer. I can't hold it.
She played the cancer card, yeah.
Like excuses.
And I'm like, did you have cancer twice now? Grow up. It's not a big deal.
It's not your first rodeo.
Or you know what? You can just play it faster.
Right? Play it faster so I can get through this. And that's really how, which is good because I always laugh at the, was it DC Talk? Was it something Chapman? What's the guy, all your
Mark David Chapman.
Kim was like was not allowed to listen to the rock and roll music when she was in high school.
Nope.
She was only listening to the Lord's music.
Jars of clay.
When you guys were talking with John and Rebecca on the podcast, there was that kind of like, they thought you guys were kind of like that gospel type band.
We thought they were.
Yeah, because
But,
that was
yeah.
what Chad had
Yeah,
told
Chad
us.
Grizzly, man. He told me like we were gonna do a show, and he's like, dude, Grifter and Shills, dude, they're like this, like they do hymns and stuff. And I'm like, what? And so I like walked to the show, like, oh, what is this? What's this Tabernacle Jamboree gonna be? And no, they're like crazy, amazing.
Well, that's what's funny is they thought they could be like Slim Sessa's Auto Club, and they're like, I'm like, y'all are too cute for that. Like, y'all look so nice. Like, y'all don't have that kind of
Nobody's
almost
gonna buy the
threatening
theater.
look. Like, y'all,
Right.
everyone's like, they're being real
They're
right
scary.
here. And it was that kind of deal. But yeah. And I guess that's how we got along. Because we met John and Rebecca out at, like a Friendswood art market thing, or art festival. And then that was kind of how we met them, was the whole, Kim looked at me after they got done playing, and was like, we're going to stalk them till they're our friends.
I actually said that, yeah.
And then they were like, hey, Joe, want to play this thing we do? And then that ended up leading to Drink of Ages. Like, hey, we do this Americana thing. We did the first one at EQ High. So like, then we're going to do a Drink of Ages. I was like, yes, thank you for Drink of Ages. Like, I'll go and drink like 25 different beers.
Yes,
I'm not going to drink like, because flights, stay responsible, stay classy.
That's right.
But you could go out, you could do that. And, oh, man, it was great. But anyway, back to the song.
Yeah, the thing about the song is, and John will attest to this, like we've had a lot of people on the couch now, and I don't feel like anybody has been that real about like the songwriting process, about, where it just shows, that you guys have been, especially you, have been doing this for so long that like it doesn't need to be unvarnished. And maybe it's because you're husband and wife too. It's just like, nah, that's not working. Like, I don't think we've had one band on that's really talked about how, there can be that struggle at times.
All right, let's take another break and get back. We'll talk more about Brightwire. This is Vinyl Voices. Stay tuned. You've seen their billboards and know their slogan, but the personal injury attorneys at Push and Win are more than familiar faces and a clever catchphrase. The firm specializes in car accidents and has won more than $200 million in counting for their clients. Slips and falls, product liability, class action cases, and motor vehicle accidents. Push and Win has offices in Houston and San Antonio ready to help you fight the insurance company. Call their bilingual staff at 833-PUSH-WIN or visit pushwin.com for a 100% free consultation. They push, you win.
May the 4th be with you weekend in Galveston, Texas. La Izquierda is back with a classic longboard surf competition, 3-day music festival starring The Nude Party, Cam Franklin, Tanya Nolan, Ruben Moreno, Galveston, The Ghost Wolves, Dim Roots, and much, much more. Tickets available online at laizzyfest.com. Think waves, y'all. Waves.
All right, Vital Voices, we are back on and hanging out here with Brightwire. What song are we going to hear this time?
Okay, we're going to hear Ship's Wheel Saturday Night.
Daybreak comes with a sin from last night. Scenes we regret exposed in the morning light.
Ashtray, broken mascara, and with tears. It's the same old hangover we've been fighting for years.
Slow it down and spin slow. Lonely lovers don't know when to let go. There's one thing I know. It's the more you make, the more you blow. Parked my car around the tree outside. It's nights like these you feel lucky to get home alive.
For every step forward, you know they knock me down twice. You can have the high, man, all I want is slide.
Slow it down and spin slow. Lonely lovers don't know when to let go. There's one thing I know. It's the more you make, the more you blow. Sometimes it helps to get high.
Kiss your baby's lips, rub her thigh.
Meet me down at the wheel tonight. Blowing all the money, drinking on a Saturday night. Slow it down and spin slow. Lonely lovers don't know when to let go. There's one thing I know. It's the more you make, the more you blow.
And we're back.
And we are back.
I thought we were gonna be so PG.
I'm sure they
They
do.
seem so sweet. There's a cute little old lady. Oh, I'm wearing my Mojo Nixon shirt. That's why.
It's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, man, I'm just over here drinking some Kevin's Bomb.
Yeah. Although I feel like all of that was just discussed where no audience person could hear it actually really is kind of, it's in line with the song. I mean,
Oh, I thought we endeared
no, it
ourselves
is.
to you. Maybe
what's that?
did we endear ourselves to you with those stories?
We would love y'all to start
good.
I
with.
mean, there's something. The good thing about this show is that I learned something new every single show.
Yeah.
At least one thing, and this particular one, I'm going to go put in my notes about soaking.
Yeah,
There you
so in the Mormon tradition.
Kids.
You're going to learn more than one thing this show.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Ship's Wheel Saturday Night. That's the song you just heard, friends. I wrote this song with my older brother Daniel, who unfortunately drank himself to death in his mid-40s. I win. I'm older than he was, so as a younger brother, that's important to get all those victories you can against your older sibling. But
Yeah, take the victory where you
the
can.
win. That's right. You can.
Get the dub however you need to.
We like to send a shout out to the Up and Away, a collaboration with Bedrock City Comic Company and No Label. I was a big comic kid growing up. I was a Marvel guy. I liked Batman. I liked Suicide Squad, like old school, but Watchmen was awesome, but Marvel was better. And so anyway, point being of the song.
Yeah, I don't know where
Sorry,
that
babe.
went.
It's a comic book shop place.
What does it have?
It has to do with the beer we're drinking. But anyway, so I wrote this song with my older brother, Daniel. We grew up in Crystal Beach, Texas, which if you've ever been across the ferry, Port Baldwin Peninsula, there's a bar down there called the Ship's Wheel. It does exist. So one of the fun things about growing up down there, most of our friends' parents worked for fish houses, or they worked for the boats. They went out and did shrimping, fishing, oystering, things of that nature. And the kind of cycle that everyone's life was in down there was, all right, Monday morning we get up, we go out on the boat. If we do really well, we're home on Thursday. If not, we're home on Friday. If you do really well, you're home on Wednesday, if that was rare. You sell all the shrimp, fish, oysters that you get, and you get a bunch of money. And then you go out and you party. At the time with Ship's Wheel or Sharky's, or there was the North Jetty, and all those kind of places. And then,
There's nothing else to do down there.
yeah, I mean, but we were a party town. May have been about 20 years behind, but there was plenty of good biker speed and meth way before we ever had Breaking Bad or anything like that. And, but for us kids, it was great because our parents were out partying and doing stuff. So we were kind of left to our own devices. So, we loved that thing, man. We could go out. Our big deal was, me and my friend Rusty and all of our other friends, especially in the summer months, we would go out and walk around, and all the people who came down to visit the beach would normally be exhausted and go to bed by 9 p.m. So about 9 p.m. we'd take off and we'd go start hitting coolers people left under their houses with Walmart bags, and we'd fill them full of beer, and we'd go back and watch Saturday Night Live. So that was kind of the premise of me and my brother starting this. And my brother was kind of a mess, so we started writing the song about our hometowns. Like, what did everyone do? They went to Ship's Wheel, they drank, they partied, they hoped to find someone to
Spend the weekend with.
make sweet love to if they didn't already have somebody. Right, to soak with.
Soak with.
And if they were lucky, their friends came and shook the bed at the right tempo.
I feel like that was kind of part of the community too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Friends were involved.
It's good to know that the kids are doing the same thing
you
as the
talking about
parents.
upside down
Parents are doing it in bars.
So no, it was that happened. It was less purposeful back then. People were upset, but then by the time you spent a week on the boat squashing that beef, you were like, okay, it's fine that you banged my old lady. It's not a big deal. So a good punchline is me and my brother finished this song. And then when I hung out with my brother sometimes, I'm not a smoker, but we would drink some beers and hang out. When he was on one of his points where he was like not a hardcore alcoholic, he'd have these like great, beautiful moments where he's just like, he'd have a couple beers and be good. Like, I'm not addicted to beer, I'm addicted to liquor. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. But anyway, so we had a couple cigarettes and I was like, cool, man. Like, smoking, but oh, my mouth tastes like ass. My ex-wife is going to be upset. So I went to his bathroom and I opened this Altoids tin. And I was like, oh man, these Altoids are all crushed up into different pieces. Yeah. So I grabbed the biggest piece of Altoid I could find to get rid of my nasty breath. And my entire mouth and throat went numb. So I had to do this walk to my brother and go like, hey man, First lesson I learned, don't take things that don't belong to you. Second thing I need to ask is, what the hell was in that Altoids tin? So he was like, oh, wow. Yeah, man.
You
that was
grabbed
my,
the big piece?
That was my girlfriend's, like, coke she had hidden in this thing. I don't know if this could show up on the radio. But yeah, so apparently I had a huge chunk of cocaine. And then we rode the bridge because it was talking about, sometimes you gotta get high. Kiss your baby's lips and all that. So that we lived that song that night.
It sounds like the beach was kind of a rough place to live, to grow up.
It does.
Well, it really was, because we had oil workers, shrimp work, fishermen. During the summer, people came in from Houston and things like that. Things got a little weird. But, I mean, mostly, yeah, it was kind of a gnarly place to live growing up. I mean, we did stuff. We had Bayview Grocery. You could run in and grab a 12-pack of beer at 12 years old. And as long as you threw the $20 on the register when you ran out the door, the guy at the register would be like, no, stop. And that was it. Don't pay. And this is like 1995, so it was like 12 was 91. But, I'm saying, but like by the mid-90s, $20 for a 12-pack of beer was a lot of money. So he was like, no, stop. You're doing wrong. And they were like, and we'd run out. We did that a lot.
All right, well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's show. It's been a whole lot of fun, and really looking forward to this fourth segment. What's going to happen there?
What are we going to learn?
But I want to thank No Label Brewery for the beer, Frank's Pizza, and of course our sponsor, Push and Win. If you need any assistance for any legal situation, Push and Win. On behalf of DJ Muskratch, Jason Esparza, Justin Dejas, and myself, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to everybody next week.